This is the spoilers review for this film. If you want to see the non-spoiler version, there's a link to it in the pinned comments and description box below. What's going on, everyone? How are y'all doing out there? Welcome back to another great epic episode of Just My Opinion Reviews, where today we are discussing Daddy's Little Girls, another Tyler Perry film. This one came out in 2007. My goodness gracious. And we're doing this review in 2025. If you have not seen the film, if you have not heard of it, a mechanic and his family are struggling to make ends meet with his ex-girlfriend and her drug dealing boyfriend. He struggles to get custody of his children during the way he falls in love with his attorney. I got my guest right here, Miss Kimberly Curran. How are you doing, ma'am? How are you? How are you?
Hey, I'm great. I'm great. Pumpkin spice is finally at Trader Joe's. We got Christmas stuff already out. Summer, I don't care what the official day of summer is. That's over. But when you see pumpkin spice, it's fall.
Right on, right on. I appreciate you being here, ma'am. When this film came out in 2007, I didn't have a YouTube channel. I did not have a website. I was not writing reviews on Facebook. And this was a movie that I like. It will be spoiler filled. We're going to spoil it up, down, left, right, in, and out as if you've already seen it. That is your warning. But I did review Straw a couple of months ago, and a lot of people had strong opinions on that film. And Kim, we recently did Good Deeds with Tyler Perry as the main lead writer, producer, and director, and Thandie Newton. And so, guys, make sure you go check that out. This came out nearly 2 decades ago.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
I
I
feel so old.
mean, we have grown so much since that movie came out. You know, when I was in school, Gabrielle Union was in this film. Daddy's Little Girl, she was in Good Deeds. What did you think about this film? I mean, how many times have you seen it? I'm pretty sure. Is this the first time you've seen it, or have you seen it?
No,
Okay.
this is my second time seeing it. I saw it originally in the theaters. Yeah, no, I thought it was super cute. I'll never forget China McClain, that little girl. Why you gotta be all up in our business? Like she was so adorable. Those three sisters, the McClain sisters, were so cute, and I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was good, and I thought it was nice to see a father. Um, Trying his hardest instead of just seeing like dad bashing, you know?
Yeah.
I thought it was really nice to see um, the true reality that there's a lot of fathers out there fighting for their kids and taking care of their kids, a lot of girl dads out there. So I thought it was good. I thought it was good. I thought it was kind of the dramatic parts were kind of foretelling of what was to come with Tyler Perry, because I remember thinking like, "Oh, this is so cute," and I was like, "Oh no, the little girl who hit you!" Like, but I thought that was enjoyable.
Well, good. I really liked it too. One of the reasons why we are doing this film, going over this film, with it coming out nearly 20 years ago, is Tyler Perry does have an upcoming film called Tyler Perry's Finding Joy. I think it comes out November the 5th. And so we wanted, when it comes to Tyler Perry, half of his films I like, half of them I don't like. I did like 688, but I did not care for Straw. And so it's just kind of a flip of a coin. And while I want the man is already winning, while I want him to win more, I wanted to revisit this film. This is one of the Tyler Perry films that I do like in this filmography, in this catalog. We have Good Deeds, A Family That Prays, Why Did I Get Married, Part 1 and 2, a couple of other films as well. And so that's why, again, we wanted to revisit this film, just go over the positive ones that we did like, that, on the positive side of under his name. And I liked this film back in 2007, Kim. But when I started it today, I was saying to myself, oh my goodness gracious, I don't know if I can get through this. This started out awful. It was horrible in the beginning. I was like, man, my opinion in film has changed drastically over the years. And I think I did not know how to go into it, because this is only the second time I've seen this. I saw it when it first came out in theaters, and I'm seeing it now. However, Kim, I still really did enjoy this film by the end. it got better as it progressed along. It started crazy. It started cartoonish and outlandish and just like the worst soap opera. When they're at the funeral and the mom comes running out of the car like a bat out of hell. Give me my babies. You're taking my kids. Why did y'all tell me my mama died? I'm just like,
How do
Jesus.
you not know your mom died and you live in the same city?
Exactly. It's just like a text
What?
a textbook example of just the worst of the worst. I was just like, you might as well just call Tyler Perry's movies drama or problems or exaggeration, because
Problems.
that's all. I was just like, oh my gosh. And then it was corny, but at the same time, there's nothing wrong with corny. I'm corny myself. I'm a goofball. And I was like, okay, this is a drama. And I was like, I can't take this seriously. I was watching, I was saying, not only am I going to be doing these reviews with Kim, but I'm gonna also do my separate, videos, my separate reviews as well. I was like, I just don't think I have the energy to do this. I'm just going to talk about it with Kim and leave it alone, and we're just going to ride with that. But I forgot how well this film ended up being. I mean, some of he still didn't cross some T's and dot some I's. I love the beat ass scene at the end where he beats up Tasha's boyfriend. But of course, that was like the most fake fight ever. He's
We
swinging
get
his
some
head
better
and stuff.
fight
Right,
coordinators,
right, right.
yo,
But
like
what they was representing, I was like, yeah, get them. I also really did like the sense of community in this film as well,
me
even
too.
though it was kind of corny when they're having their meeting in the gymnasium, auditorium, or wherever it was. I like the fact it was just a bunch of black people coming together, realizing the importance of solidarity and like, look, we need to take over our neighborhood. We can't be letting this drug dealer, this drug lord look down upon us like God. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Execution and all that may have been a little corny, but hey, it don't matter. I was having fun. I was enjoying myself. I was entertained. I was like, yeah, this is, a good, positive, constructive message. And again, Tyler Perry's main audience is the church. We all know that. The
Yeah.
scene at the church was wonderful. And guess what, Kim? We are filming this on a Sunday. And
Praise God, praise God.
yes, watched this on a Sunday. And the fact that Monty was going through all of his trials and tribulations, he showed up at church, got a good word, and whatever you believe or whatever, a lot of people, black people, resonate with that. They when they start the week off on Sunday, they want to start it off with God. They want to start it off with the Lord and have a good word to give them fuel through the week. And the pastor spoke to him, and it spoke to me too. And I would, and that was in the middle of the movie. And I know I'm talking a lot right now, but I was just really enjoying myself at that time.
Yeah.
And so I'll just say all that to say I really did enjoy the movie. It started out, I was just like, why did I pick this to watch? But I think it was the scene where they was at the hospital and, the crap really hit the fan. And, he found out that his daughters were going to be taken away because I guess she was trying to make some popcorn or some grits and burn the house down nearly. And they had to, they didn't show that scene. And I was like, that's kind of where her and him and Julia, Gabrielle Union's character, of course, we're going to be talking about her, came together, and I was like, yeah, this is Tyler Perry pulling at these heartstrings. You know what I'm saying, Tyler? Why can't you make movies like this in 2025? But anyway, yeah. So overall, I did enjoy it. I talked about two scenes that stood out to me: the community scene and also the church. Do you have any commentary there, or is there anything that stood out to you the most, or in
Um,
this movie that you liked a lot?
yeah, no, one of the things I do love about, Tyler Perry's films is that he did start making them for church folks and particularly the black church. And that's not to say, I mean, I grew up. My home church was Saddleback Church, out here in Orange County. So like, that's not to say there's that if you're any other kind of church, you're not going to understand. I think if you go to church, you've had those moments where you are arms over the pews, like I give up, like God, and then so many of us have experienced someone gets on the mic and it's like it's not even a human voice anymore. The Holy Spirit's like, can I borrow that mic real quick? And all of a sudden just chills go down your spine and you're the warm tears are coming and you're like, I don't even know where this is coming from. I'm not even that emotional. And the Holy Spirit's like, let me just have this time to remind you of the word, to remind you that it's going to be okay. And I know that gospel music is mainly in Black churches. But I actually have a thing, side note, I love Korean gospel music. If you guys have never seen Korean soul gospel, check it out. Amazing. But I think so many of us can resonate being where he was, where you're like, okay, the day didn't go how I thought. If anything, I knew I'd have to fight for custody, but I didn't know I'd get called to the hospital. My daughter would, what are you, honey, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden, I'm fighting for my kid's life, like out of nowhere. Like, I like that scene because I've been there. I've seen people there where you're praying for them, and you're just praying for a breakthrough, and all of a sudden you see them stand up and you see their hands go up, and I'm like, that resonated with me so much because I'm like, yes, grab that hope that's for you, grab that word. That word is for you. Grab onto it like a life vest. I really love that so much, and I like seeing the stuff about the community because I think a lot of times we look at the news and we see that the neighborhoods are overtaken by gangs. We see the numbers of shootings and homicides, and we feel like what's happening to the people? What's happening to the people in the community? And so I did like the sense of community. I do like those church scenes that can be so hopeful and very realistic. And I think people could resonate with the fact of just where he was in life. Like, custody is frustrating. They favor moms a lot, and look, moms and dads can miss the mark and not be great. And I think we see so many movies where it's like dad did this and dad did that, but Tasha Smith's character,
Mm.
that character is very real.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And I've done a lot of volunteer work in foster care, and I have been around kids who are like, my dad's great. I'm here because my mom lied and said that he did something, and he never touched me. He never did anything. My dad's amazing. My mom's a wacko. Like, that happens. And so I do like that while sometimes it can feel like some of Tyler Perry's films can be more like I don't want to say man bashing, but just a little bit more focused on this man needs to get it together. This man did that. I like that he told an even story of like, hey, sometimes it's the mom that's a hot mess.
Very, very true. She was the worst of the worst. Like I said, she looked ridiculous, like with her little outfits on as well. I mean, and they're in their
It's
30s, and I know they were dated when they was in high school. Uh,
yeah.
I like that you spoke on the man bashing, but the lack thereof. At the very beginning, you also said it's just nice to see, a father wanting to take responsibility for his kids because, the stereotypes are stupid, but, they are annoying. And so, Tyler is countering that. But at the same time, there's a lot of responsibility that fell on Monty as well. Like, I mean, you got to do what you got to do at the very beginning. Like, hey, I can't take full custody of my kids. Like, wait a minute, my guy. You have to do that, especially with the
Mhm.
situation you're in. And I was also just kind of frustrated with his decision making. You had 3 kids with this woman, not one, but 3. Okay. And Julia, Gabrielle Union's character at once,
Yeah.
later half of the movie, she's like, yeah, you have an interesting choice in women. He's like, yeah, she's not the same, that she, was in high school. I can understand that with a 12-year-old, but you have a 5-year-old. You was up in there 5.5 years ago, or nearly 6 years ago. So,
Yeah, did she just flip a switch? Like, you
you know,
saw the
you know,
nature of the person.
yeah, that's a hell of a change, my because y'all seem like polar opposites. So, I mean, I just don't know.
I like that you said that, Brandon, because I feel like, and again, working, volunteering in foster care for years, I've seen so much, and I've also volunteered in a lot of domestic abuse safe homes. And I've talked to a lot of women and kids who were like, yeah, he was abusive. And then, we had another baby. And it's like, I think this eye-opening part needs to be said that people, like, and I say people because it's not, hey, women, hey, men. No,
Right,
people.
right,
When
yeah,
somebody is showing a negative traits, having more kids isn't going to fix it. And this film really kind of shows everyone wants a baby. They grow up into kids, they grow up into teens, they grow up into adults. what good is it doing when you keep having kids with somebody you know has hit you before, you know has done some crazy stuff, you know is abusive and negative and like getting into drugs, you know? So I like that you brought that up because it's like she didn't just change overnight. You got a little 5-year-old there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that did stand out to me.
Mhm.
She was the worst. But this is bugging me. I have to say this now. The gentleman I was talking about is Brian Wright. Brian White.
Brian White. Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
We know him. Let me bring it up real quick. This guy right here. I like the fact that Tyler, he has a familiar cast that he continues to bring back. Felicia Rashad is in a lot of his movies. Brian White. He was just in Good Deeds that we talked about. Even though those are what 5 years apart. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Other actors as well. And in Good Deeds, he was crazy, just off the wall, just like, oh, let me out of here, screaming. In this one, he was that guy, that dude. It looked like he had the money, the status, the looks, and all that, and had a whole family at home. And so
Mhm.
that I just found that hilarious. That in one
That
film
was
he is,
so
and in this film he's the exact opposite. This is also a comedy. I laughed. Okay. Julia is trying to go on these dates, Gabrielle Union. Okay. Well, let's talk about her for a second. First of all, she goes out with Mr. Blue Suit Dude, Julia. I
you know
wouldn't
what?
want to fool
Ooh,
ya.
yeah.
Around
That
you with my weight.
Craig
And
Robinson is my dude.
I laughed. It was silly. It was cringy. It was all that. It was,
His whole Craig Robinson, can we just like give a round of applause for Craig Robinson's whole
yeah,
scene? I
yeah,
just want to chew those lips right off of your face. What?
yeah.
Sir, what?
I forgot his name for a second. Where has he been? Where?
Craig Robinson, The Office. The
Okay, I don't watch
Office.
that
That's
show.
my dude. Daryl from The
Yeah.
Office, The Warehouse.
I'm trying to find him right now. I'm having the worst time. But yeah,
So
I
yeah,
laughed. So you're a big fan of
so
you're,
funny.
you're a big fan of his.
Huge fan of Craig Robinson. Oh yeah.
I got you. I
Yeah.
got you. I
He's
got
always singing. He's always making up some funny song. But yeah, The Office, and then he had his own series on ABC for a little bit. He played a teacher. Super funny guy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Here he is right here. Funny,
So
funny dude.
funny.
I haven't seen him in a while, and it was nice seeing him, again. And yeah, Hot Tub Time Machine. I didn't want to
Oh
say
yeah, Hot Tub Time Machine.
Zach and Myra make a porno. Man, I remember those days. I was in the theater. Those was my early movie review days on Facebook. But this
Shut
this
up,
this,
Ralph.
this was funny, and I was so happy for Julia when she went on the date with Chris with Brian Wright, and they was here. They were both lawyers, both attorneys. Both dressed well. Just seemed like they frequent the same places, and she was happy. She was uptight. She was stuck up. She was bougie at the very beginning of this episode. Her friends, Tracy Ellis Ross, and I forgot the other young lady's name. I can come back to that. But they was like, you just need to get laid. Okay. You need a man. She didn't want to go out with no 40-year-old rappers that screaming scrimp across the restaurant. She met Brian. Brian had a whole family.
Yeah,
I
Terry
would
J. Vaughn was her friend. Terry J. Vaughn was
thank
her
you.
other friend
Thank you, thank
from
you. She
Steve
was in,
Harvey show.
yes, dated SETI or whatever.
Boss
Yeah.
lady.
She just recently had a show on Netflix as well. I didn't get a chance to check it out, but I wanted to. If anybody has seen that,
I like
let us
her.
know in the comment section below. Yeah, I like her too. I didn't like her in this movie though. They were stuck up and did not want her friend Julia to talk to a driver. Said that this is a fun time, short time, not a long time. What'd you think about that?
I thought that was I being a woman, I'm like, yeah, I've definitely like heard those conversations and be involved in like girls, arguing over what someone else should do with their life. But yeah, definitely that whole kind of like he's blue collar, like there's no IRA with this man. Like, where's your future? But I love the idea of like just find your love where find where your love has a home, and that doesn't have to have a certain profile, and if it does, then you could be missing out.
Yeah,
Sometimes good love is not found in the same financial bracket. It's not, as long as there's love and respect and hard working, whether you work hard at a blue collar job or a white collar job, it all boils down to integrity. But it's those friends that sometimes you listen to that it's like, okay, well, you got me with someone that's got the caliber and everything else on your checklist, but he also has a pregnant wife and a sassy little boy that called
Yeah.
me a hoe. So it's like, or I can have someone available that makes, $15 an hour, whatever it is. Sometimes you got to take that out of the equation and go, am I loved? Am I respected? Is he hardworking? Okay, then what you guys have to say, you can keep it to yourselves and let me live my life. So I kind of, I was so frustrated at those girls, but I thought the casting was perfect.
Yeah, yeah,
I forgot Tracy Ellis Ross was in that. I totally forgot,
yeah,
but yeah, I'm like, especially at the aquarium, I was like, you don't gotta put him on
hey,
blast in front of
yeah,
his kids.
whole
And
family,
first of
yeah.
all, that's a man out there handling his business with his kids. He's not out here, having fun with your friend and he's got 3 girls that are just like out in the streets. Like, mind your business.
And it was silly anyway, because for one, they're the ones that told her to lower her standards. And two is they rather her be with the 40-year-old rapper asking for scrimps instead of, this guy right here that's, I mean, he does have 3 kids, but still, and a record, but they didn't know about that. But it was a
Yeah.
little bit inconsistent, And but I mean it was just for fun. For funds. For fun. It's not anything to be taken too seriously.
But you know what, Brandon? I something I kind of forgot is how much I like seeing Gabrielle Union on the screen. Like, I
Yeah.
know she did just recently have a project, but I was like, she was very funny in this.
Yeah, she was.
She
And
was really funny.
not at the beginning. I didn't like her in the beginning. She was annoying. But
Yeah.
again, when she saw Monty's problem with his girls and was, kind of being sympathetic, like, hey, I'm sorry about that. Are they gonna be okay? How old are your girls? That's when I started to like her. And she just, just started showing, her human side. Everything prior to that was just everybody was just acting silly. You just like, oh, please, and just like, oh, you're unprofessional. You're taking a phone call on the job, and anyway, I don't want to bash the movie because I really did like it. But in addition to Gabrielle Union, who I liked in this film, I also like Miss Melinda Williams.
Oh yeah.
And she's
That's my girl.
gorgeous as well. It's class, high school
She's so that's a perfect word. She's so classy. Oh my god, high school high.
soul food.
That's even my kind of favorite. Yeah, she's been around a long, long time. I feel
Yeah,
like anyone who watched sitcoms in the 90s, you saw her guest star on something,
yeah,
like Family Matters, Moesha, um, and I want she was, oh yeah, Soul Food the series, but there's so much I want to see
the
from her. I
Wiz.
know she's done some of those like Hallmark type, holiday films and stuff, but more Melinda Williams, please. I love
Yes,
her.
yes, she's
Love
man,
her.
she's just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. 1970, so she is, was at 55? Man, that
Man,
not
she's beautiful.
golly. Yeah, shout out, in the comment section, if you, do like, Melinda Williams, and, man, it was nice seeing the brother, because, he did stand up at the community meeting. He
Mhm.
was also stood up at the very end in the trial to be a witness. Louis Gossett Jr. and rest in
Oh
peace,
God,
sir.
I love him. Loved him. He's had such a remarkable career, and I really that's another thing we talked about, Brandon, is that Tyler Perry I feel like has done a really good job of
Mhm.
remembering our legends and giving them work when Hollywood. It's like how are like I mean I'm not to shy away. Lou Gossett Jr. has done so much work, but I really love that Tyler Perry has put these legends in his films, and given them another stage to play on. So
Yeah. And
I really
had a great character as well. He was the owner of the shop. He was the owner of the garage. Monty did have dreams, which he expressed to Julia, like, I wanted my own shop, but I had money. I had to, use it for my girls and never had the opportunity. And by the end of the film, he passed the shop down to him. And Of course, I like that. Receiving resources and love and sentimental things just being passed down from our elders, our loved ones, our ancestors. So that's excuse me, wonderful right there. And yeah, rest in peace, Mr. Gossett Jr. You
Yeah.
will be missed, sir. Passed away last year.
Mhm.
Wonderful, wonderful man. What did you think about the relationship between Julia and Monty?
I I I wasn't a huge fan of the kissing scene only because it was like they were getting closer, but I don't know, something about it was I think it was, like, too fast, too soon.
Of course.
And I know obviously, I mean, they had to kind of, you have 2 hours to tell the story, like, I get that. I would have liked a little bit more montage, maybe even about little moments, like reaching for the file and brushing hands. Like, you kinda went from all right, you're not too bad. You're not too bad. All right, you're kind of cute. You're kind of cute. Like, I mean, hold on. Wait. What's your favorite color? Like, that was kind of, I'm like, you're taking your belt off already? Like, calm down. But I think, and it was kind of funny because, and it was a little weird at her house because she was drunk and he was
I
still
was
like, no, no, no. Okay, whatever. Like, right, she likes you, but she is wasted,
Yeah,
so
I was yeah, I was screaming at the screen like, "Bro, what
that
are you
was
doing? You
a
drop
few
her off."
things
Yeah.
didn't age well. One, that the movie started out with an R. Kelly song. Two, Bishop Eddie Long, that had its
Right.
yeah. I was like, and then that scene with her being drunk and still kissing her, I was like,
That
a
was
few
awful.
things have not aged well.
That was awful.
But I think it's funny about this time, 2007. I know a lot more. Certain people. Oh, certain people may have
No,
learned
no, no.
about.
I'm
Oh,
sorry. I was saying
oh,
something
some-
else.
oh! I
And
thought you texted me. Oh,
sorry. I'll let
um,
you talk, my bad.
no, that's okay. I think in terms of women, and Idris Elba's career, this is kind of when a lot of women were introduced to him. I mean, he did a lot of work before that. I think more men would have seen his work. But this is where women, I remember this time because I remember my around this time, me and my mom, I remember watching an interview, probably for Daddy's Girls, and we were like, he's British? Oh my god, his sexy factor just went way up, and I remember a lot of women didn't know Idris Elba yet, like, this was kind of his introduction, for a whole lot of women,
Okay.
and
Yep.
especially learning that he was British, I think this is when in America, like, at least he really got his like sex symbol, like sexiest man, like, okay, let's get him on the cover of Essence. Like, this was kind of our introduction into Sir Idris Elba, and so it's funny watching this film because I was like, wait a minute, what had I seen of his before this? And I'm like, you know what? I think this was my kind of my introduction into Idris. And then of course we know how that story went,
Mhm.
largely successful, but this was kind of his jump off
Yeah.
um, to more mainstream female audiences.
I think you're right. Thank you for saying that.
Mhm,
I didn't think of that myself. So with this coming out in 2007,
mhm.
Daddy's Little Girls, what was he in before this? Not anything too big, maybe Girlfriends, The Wire.
The Wire, I think, is what a lot of men might know him from, and not a lot of women watch The Wire.
Yeah.
Some, but I think The Wire for American audiences was kind of our introduction into Idris Elba because he had a larger career in Britain, you know,
You're
um,
right, right,
in,
right.
in London. So he was more known overseas, but
Yeah,
definitely The
okay.
Wire is where a lot of men were like, "Oh, I know that guy."
Okay. I
Yeah.
never watched The Wire. I have never seen one full episode.
We
So
should watch it together, but you have to be in the
definitely.
mood for it. It can be kinda dark.
Okay, y'all, if y'all are interested in that, let us know in the comment section.
And I
Uh,
skipped a few seasons, so we should maybe you and I can do, like, a season review or something.
hey, I'm always down. You're great. You're great. You're great. So yeah, and there were going back to what you said about the kissing. Y'all was screaming. I was like, bro, what are you doing? I was like, if you're gonna stay over there, y'all can both sleep on the couch with the clothes on, or put her in the bed and come back in the living room or something. But that's a no-no, especially the first. This is crazy.
You're
Not only that, but your client. Like this is insane. Come on now, Tyler, what are you doing? Let's just put
I w
everything together real quick.
Yeah, I would have liked something a little bit more sweet, but honestly, I can't complain too much because it did fit their characters and what their characters were going through.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
she hadn't had
You're
any
right.
good loving in a while,
Right.
so it did fit the story, but I just was kinda like, "How about we sober up so we remember this time we've spent together?"
Right.
Like,
And
whatever.
it was cute though. I can't remember if it was a scene before or after this, but she was walking outside, he opened the door and he gave her a hug and she smelt him. And she was like, "Oh God, like you smell so good," but she didn't want to admit it. I thought that was cute.
I like that.
And even prior to her being drunk at her apartment, her place, the scene prior to that where there was dancing at the whatever venue that was, and she kicked off her shoes. That was really cute and romantic.
I
I,
thought that was
I
so
really
cute.
liked it, and I was just like, look at Tyler. Oh, this is a good scene right here. And I remember watching it saying, why can't you make scenes like this in 2025? Or maybe I said that again in this video review. I can't remember, but
Yeah,
I really did like that, and
that was I think it ruined the scene by her, like, taking out I think that would have been because it was a blues club, which one that's a cute date, like a blues
mhm.
club, but I would have rather her just, like, lay her head on his chest and just slow dance. It'd be like, "Now we're dancing, now my shoes are off, and there goes my belt." Like, calm
I got you. Just a little slower pace. I'm not mad at that, but their romance was cute.
down.
I did like it.
I
We
love the scene with the girls.
When she showed up at the crib waiting on him to bring back the dinner.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and they're like, "You looked older in court.
yeah, yeah,
Your
yeah.
hair looks like a weave." Like, I thought that was really funny. That
Did
was
we
cute.
did we talk about how they're real sisters in real life? Did we mention that?
I mentioned it, but,
I think
I
you did.
think when I first saw this movie, I was like, "Are they sisters?" Like, 'cause they're all so cute.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They were.
So cute.
And I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to talk about the situations they were in. It was awful. One of the local men on the block didn't have his $700, and it was being taken out of the girlfriend's account, and he got beat up in the apartment with the girls in the other room. Now, execution may not have been the best, but we do know that things like this do happen in some parts of the neighborhood, and a lot of the times it's 3 to 4 times even worse, you know? Also, the girlfriend, Tasha, was trying to pimp out her own daughter. Oh, you need your ass whooped. I normally don't just say that women need their ass whooped, but if a woman is gonna
I'll
pimp
do
out
it.
your own
That's
daughter,
okay,
you
I'll say
need
it.
your ass whooped.
Catch me outside.
Um, thoughts,
I
Kimberly.
hated that. I've worked with kids that their moms did some horrible stuff. With I literally worked with kids who've been pimped out by their moms. It happens, and it just that was the one part of me when I started the film, which I kind of forgot. I was like, oh, how much trauma is this? I because when it comes to kids, I take it with me all day. I'm
Mhm.
pissed all day. I'm in a mood all day. Like if I see a film where kids are getting abused, I'm just upset because I know it happens, and that's why I'm like women and men like the people you hang around, just like your mom said in grade school, like you become who you hang around, sweetie. Like
Mhm.
your friends matter, they matter. When someone's doing drugs around your kids or sees an opportunity, like, oh, you're in school, oh, you're about to sell this weed, kids, this is the perfect age to get kids hooked on. You'd make the perfect salesman. Like, I hated that scene because it's so real, and the way she talked to the girls, the
Yeah.
way, and this happens every day. She's fighting for custody. Women are lying on men
All
all
the
the time. Now, don't at me, don't comment. Yes, men are lying on women all the time, but I know when it comes to film, we kind of have seen an imbalance of that. But it happens, and I gotta tell you, Brandon, I was in a mood after I watched this, especially when she said the guy hit her. It just,
Yeah.
boiled my blood. I was
Oh,
so pissed.
like, what do you do? Like, I immediately wanna go get a gun and empty the mag, but it's like
I thought he was gonna go get a gun. I forgot this movie. I thought he was gonna get a piece out of his car.
and that would have been justified, but then you'd
Th
be in jail,
I
and,
know.
you won't be you'll be away from your girls, so you gotta be, calculating and, not emotional and
And just
logical.
hit him with the car and get the
Yes,
community to
get
do
it
your
yeah,
bidding.
that took too long to jump in to help him out. I was just like, "It's
Yeah.
79 of y'all," and like, even if it was all women, y'all could got them 3 dudes, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man.
Carry the
Yeah,
one.
God damn it.
And that makes me mad when
Hell
people see someone getting the crap beat out of them, and they're like, "Somebody do something. You're
yeah.
somebody."
I
But Big Mama came in with the frying pan and was
yeah,
like,
she
"I
did.
got you with a cast iron skillet."
That
Like,
is
say less.
go back, go
Like,
back, go back. That is the worst. Kim, that is the worst. Somebody do something.
somebody.
You do something. I can just you're it's no
Oh,
there's no point to get worked up.
me.
Yeah, yeah. Something that did frustrate me though, he gave the little girl so they were trying to pimp her out, but he also gave her the drugs to sell at school. And they're like, we need evidence. We need witnesses. You can't interview the girl. You can't ask the principal. The guy can't witness. Hey, he hemmed up. I was mad that Monty got hemmed up in the office like that. I mean, he got the ass whooping at the end. But what's going on, Kim? I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a prosecutor. But that just seemed like easy peasy. That they didn't have any evidence. Was I mean, am I tripping? Or
No, the court system can really suck. I think that's why sometimes
I was
more
talking about the writing.
people. Oh, the writing. Oh. Yeah, no, the writing, like the little girl at least being believed, because if she had been a sweet girl and a good student up until now, and all of a sudden she shows up with drugs, the response from the adults shouldn't be, "And now you're a criminal, you're in trouble." It should be, "Honey, what's going on? I know you. You
Mhm.
don't the fact that you even have a cigarette in your backpack is crazy. Like, what are you doing with weed, sweetheart? Like, this isn't you. Not, I'm calling your father. You're selling drugs." Like, can all the adults, like, can we like counsel? Can we like counsel a kid first? And I mean, I get that there's so much, but this is the interesting thing, Brandon, that makes me think about filmmaking. I mean, except for Christopher Nolan, you usually have 2+ hours ish to tell your story.
Mhm.
And I think that's why we have the Golden Globes. That's why we have well, if the voting is right, but that's why we have amazing films, because what you do within 2 to 3 hours can be so incredible. That's why we hail writers, screenwriters, and directors as like they're so great, because it's the magic of film is what you do within 2 hours. That's what makes writing good. What makes directing good. Telling a comprehensive story within that amount of time, that's really at the end of the day what makes us like or dislike a movie, is how often are you hitting practical points, how often are you bringing mixing the fantastical with the realistic with your characters, being relatable but also showing me something that's so much bigger than myself. That's what makes a great writer and director. And I mean, but you also have to admit, this is Tyler Perry. This film is only like, I think it was like
Hour and
uh, a couple years after
oh,
he's kind of stopped doing plays and got a big deal with Lionsgate. Because I remember being in college in 2003 and watching his plays, and 2003, that was 4 years before this movie came out. So you have to remember, this is really the beginning of Tyler Perry getting behind the camera as a film director and
mm,
getting off the theater stage, the Chitlin circuit, if you want to call it, the church circuit, and getting, Lionsgate. That was a great partnership. It still is a great partnership for him. So this is really new into his film directing. So I can't fault him too much,
of course.
um, because he was kind of new. But oh, Diary of a Mad Black Woman was 2002. Really? Oh, the play. Okay, yeah, these are all the play. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I was not. But this is the beginning of his career. But I think that's why, in talking about the totality of Tyler Perry's filmography, sometimes 20 years later, when we are still seeing stuff like this on some of his films, this is the frustration with him. And I don't say that to bash him, Brandon, but like we're talking about, Daddy's Girl and how, a few things were kind of bumpy in the storytelling. But then we look at stuff like Acrimony and, the one that just came
Oh,
out,
great.
Straw,
Yeah.
and we're like, "Tyler, this is Bush League, like, you were doing this in '07 when you were new, like, we're
It's better
evolve.
now, like,
You need to evolve. You
right.
need to evolve," and that's my frustration a lot with Tyler Perry is that and, I mix frustration with appreciation, but one of my criticisms is that, like, Acrimony, like, what like, some of his stuff now, I'm like, "You need to grow as a director. You need to evolve. You need to still, pour into yourself in terms of challenging yourself." 6 was like for me, nothing of Tyler Perry's that he does at this point in his career should be under the quality writing and directing of 6
I agree.
6 was an award contender in my eyes. 6 was really having a seat at the table with the Antoine Fuqua and Spike Lee and with in terms of directors of color, but even just storytellers at that level. Nothing should be below the quality of 6 and it should be going up. I
Yes.
should never have to sit through something like Acrimony from someone that's been doing this for 20 years. It's ridiculous. I should never have to do that. I should at this point, I should never have to see one of your films and see a wig falling off and glue going this way and sweat going this way. I should never have to see issues with continuity. I should never have to sit through something and go, "Well, that really doesn't make sense." And like he needs to grow. Like Tyler, like this is
Right.
2027. There's no need to still. This is 2027, and he has since made films that are way worse than Daddy's Girl. That doesn't make any sense, Brandon.
20s, I know what you mean. Yes.
Sorry, 2007.
Gotcha, yeah,
2007. Come
that was
on,
funny. I
22 years ago. Let's
I
like,
was gonna, ask you one more thing about the rape allegation from the white girl. I
oh,
mean, that was just kinda skimmed over. I was gonna say that this movie could have been you was talking about the runtime 2.5 hours. This came in at 1 hour and 40 minutes. It could have been a little longer to kinda just not flesh that over because that's serious. Um, but that was wonderful, Kim. Is it safe to say those are your final thoughts?
those are my final thoughts. But lastly, I just want to say the chemistry. I really like their chemistry together. I would really love to see more Gabrielle Union. I just really forgot how funny she was. Like she's got great comedic chops, and um, I just remember. It's just so funny to see. This is where like it jumped off for Idris Elba for a lot of people, and so proud of where their careers have gone, and just the charm of this film. I would like to see more charming film. You can have the drama, you can have disappointing things, you can have some, scary stuff that happen with families, but the charm is really what I'd like to see more of from Tyler Perry. And this film, I thought captured it with the girls, with the relationship, with the community, and yeah, it's a likable watch.
Yes, it is. And we forgot to talk about the drug lord boyfriend. We can just say that he sucked, and I'm
Yeah,
glad that he got his ass whooped, and he is going to jail
boo.
by the end of this movie. But
Yeah,
as we started off with Tyler Perry, it is a flip of a coin. Half of his movies I like, half of them I do not.
I'd like to like
Acrimony
more.
and Straw, Fall from Grace, those are that I don't like, but Family That Prays, Daddy Little Girls, Good Deeds, those are my more favorable. I think I like Daddy's Little Girls a little bit more than Good Deeds. Especially with the way things ended. It just kind of touched me a little bit more here. Maybe that's just because Tyler was behind the camera instead of in front of it. But regardless, I do respect the man, and there was a lot of positive themes in this film, especially with the church, black people in community, father, looking after his girls, all of that. Um, will we have more to come? there's another Tyler Perry movie coming out that's produced by him. It's not directed on Netflix. I think the end of September. So by the time you see this, that would have already came out. Ruth and Boaz. And so check out our review for that. If we do a review for it, check out our review for Good Deeds. Also, any other Tyler Perry movie we do. Why Did I Get Married? Part 1 and 2, The Family That Prays, and just subscribe to our channels, both of them. We got Kimberly's right here. Link is in the description. And we have mine as well. And guys, we want to just thank you so much for tuning into our spoiler review for Daddy's Little Girls. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery. That's Kimberly. And that's just our opinion. Peace out. And we'll see you next time.